Cool. Can everyone see my screen with the community call agenda in Notion?
Looks good.
Boom. Awesome. So today for check-ins, we kind of started doing this with our marketing call a few days ago, and it was really fun to go around and love up on everyone and do a bit of authentic relating. We're going to shift things up a little bit as we discussed on our last community call, kind of mirroring what TEC is doing for our check-ins today. I would like for us to, instead of doing updates, distractions, and intentions, let's share a quick update, anything you'd like to see added to the agenda, or just something that, really arises for you. And then praise. So when it is your turn and after you give your update, we will give some time for popcorn praise from everyone on the call. Doesn't have to be every single person, but just it's an opportunity to popcorn some praise for that person. Can be personal praise, can be related to milestones and accomplishments, or just great collaborative working from the week. And does anyone have any questions?
It would be great to scroll up, because we can all see your screen, or down wherever the agenda is, just so people can have a look if they want to add stuff.
Yep. Yeah, we can go through that real quick. So we're going to talk about communications and project management, about the agenda for this call moving forward, and note-taking alignment. We've got obviously section for the DAO, for fundraising, update on donation pathways, give token, our typical update sections. We can call this trace and Giveth. For ops update, and then we've got a section here on marketing, what the marketing team's been up to, and closing. So yeah, when you have your update, if you'd like to add something in, now's a good time. Who would like to go first?
I can go first. I love to give praise to people. And
Okay.
I feel the agenda is a bit dense. So I don't know, with these recurring items, I'm not sure we should try to be more lean. What that is, I cannot say right now, because there was so much, but maybe reevaluate. And let me get straight to praise. Oh, so much praise. So my first praise goes to Matteo and James for pulling an all-nighter on Monday, after putting the application live on Giveth.io, and seeing a few problems, and then not going to sleep. It's mainly James and me, because we're in Europe, but Matteo was hacking away like crazy and found the solution, and so we could go to sleep finally. And I'm pretty convinced we would have found no sleep until we fixed that issue. So that is very good. Yeah, thanks Cam for applause. Those guys really always on top of things, so it's great. Seems like we increased the pressure a bit, so that's cool. Next praise goes to Willie. I gave it before. I will be shorter now. You're so cool, and your presentation was just the greatest. So much love. Thank you very much. My next praise goes to Mitch, because he is involving himself more and more, and dealing with the arcane stuff that is really hard to mess. And he wrote an article, and I gave some feedback, and might need some change still. It's a hard and stony path, because like I said, it's very hard to write about something in depth that is very hard to understand. So praise for even taking it on and doing more and more. And the rest of the praise goes to Tommy, Ashley, Lauren, Donnie, who I see pop in wherever I go. So I see you all over the internet. You are very present, and you always give what you can give. And I think it's great. It's really in the spirit of giving and give it. There was a lot of praise. Should I give it to somebody next? Then I give it to the master praiser, Griff.
Sir, Okay, well, I want to give praise to Willie as well. The amazing talk. I learned a lot just watching his talk, and I think it'll help me improve my talks for the rest of my life, honestly. So, really, really amazing work. And I also want to give praise to some people who aren't on this call ever, but are heroes. Mohammed, and we have a new front end dev. It's also named. There's like two Mohammeds, two Mahdi's, and then Hadi and Ashley and Lauren, and the work on Giveth Trace, especially around a lot of the special praise to Hadi and Ashley on working through the email notifications, which is something that is so important and will have add a lot of value, but it's boring, grueling work in some ways, and it's just so amazing to see people put in the effort to get it done. I also want to give major praise to Gabby in a weird way for just telling us that he wasn't going to have the bandwidth to really hack on our smart contracts as soon as he did, because it would have been much worse if we didn't know that for this week. So I really want to give praise to Gabby on the great communication. And yeah, I'll pass it to Willie.
Thanks, Griff. Thanks for the praise, everybody. I want to give praise right back to you guys. I think doubling up on the praise to Mateo and James for pulling the all-nighter and going live with the soft launch and getting that ready to go. Really appreciate you guys working late to make sure that the Giveth didn't have any terrible bugs. Also, praise to Mitch and to Lauren for putting together some great articles. I really enjoyed. I haven't read Mitch's yet, but I'm looking forward to reading it. I read Lauren's and I thought she really nailed it. So that was super awesome to see. Praise to Tommy and Marco for creating some great issues, and anyone else who created some issues. I've seen a lot from them, and appreciate you guys testing and creating issues for how we can improve. Yeah, I'm sure there's more, but I don't want to spend too much time. I'm loving these praises though, and yeah, I appreciate the praise for the presentation. I think it was really easy because there's so much great stuff to talk about, so it's pretty easy to put together, fill up the presentation talking about all the amazing things that the original Giveth team accomplished and that you guys have accomplished over the past year. And yeah, as far as updates go, we're excited now that we're soft launch, excited to sync up with you guys and keep the ball rolling, keep the momentum going, talk about what the most important things are for us to do now that we are out in the wild. So yeah, and just props to the community. I love these praises, and I'm just blown away with just reflecting on how far we've come over the past year and seeing all these amazing people here today, all around the world collaborating on building the future of giving. Just really warms my heart. Can't think of a more beautiful thing to see on Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I'll pass it to Mateo.
Hey guys, happy Sunday. I'll begin with my main distraction before the praise because I feel a little bit crappy. I have a session of rhinitis. I don't know if that's called in English. I'm not sure, but it's whatever in my nose. It's really fucked up. So I won't be very active in this meeting. For my praise session, it's almost the same as Kai said. The dev team was amazing. The presentation of Willie in 8 Denver was really cool, so I have to praise him for that. And my main praise this time is for the testing team that is doing an amazing feedback in GitHub. It's almost unbelievable because I see something happened, this broke, and half an hour after or something like that, there is something that they were trying to do. So the error was more clear for us devs. So I find that really amazing, and not every test team does that. So I have to praise that. So everybody that is testing, I give you props, I give you a prize because that's really amazing. And that's it. I'll pass it to Amin.
Hi, I want to praise actually everyone, but specifically Griff for his great talk in Denver about the community and what's our goal in Community Stack. And also I praise Willie. I haven't heard your talk honestly, but I have heard that it's great. I praise James, Matthew, Kai. They were actively working and for soft launch. I didn't participate, but I was watching the notification that they are actively working for keeping this system up. And also I praise testers Uh, as Matthew said, that their impact is great, and without their test, we don't know that we have issues. And also, they have reported some great issues that they found some bugs in US one. But thank you, all of them. Yeah, I don't want to add anything else. I pass it to James.
Thanks, Amin. Yeah, what a week. I mean, like, super respect to Kai and Matteo for Monday, like really pushing hard to make sure everything is rocking out. Like, Kai set up the new development environment. Kai puts his headset on. Kai can hear me. Kai set up the new dev environment. Like, no task is too hardcore or not urgent enough for him. Matteo cranking out the widgets all the time, like making shit happen, like features, bugs, who cares, all the same, making it happen. Yeah, man, it's been super great. I'm super grateful to work with all of you. Like, I feel like a lucky bastard, basically. Props to Griff for support, for speaking the good words on the stages, for Willie recounting the history and making us all know where we're coming from and where we're going. And yeah, marketing team sat in there briefly this week also, like working hard. Props to you guys. All the content you're doing also, all the testing, so nice, so great. Feeling super supported, feeling like we can do anything. And yeah, I mean, respect to you all and love to you all and gratitude to you all. Thank you so much. And I will give it to Danny.
Hello, guys. Oh my gosh, how just all of the praise that you've already said, all of that. This week has just been amazing. Besides the praise that's already been given that I just second all the way around, I want to give some praise to Tommy for jumping into some beautiful places and facilitating a talk on metagame about the different projects and things that we're doing. I want to give praise especially to Ashley and Lauren and Mitch and Magenta and Forest, specifically as the marketing team, because meeting 2-3 times a week to really figure out how to concisely describe and explain what's happening as we launch has been an epic deep dive into areas that need more clarity and bringing those up so we can get as clear as we can. Also seconding Kai's remark about getting our agendas more lean. It just took a couple of sections out of the agenda that don't really have significant updates to share right now. And big praise to Amin and that development team on Giveth One. Everything is just looking so amazing over there all the time. And I know once I get things cleared up here, I'll be saying the same thing about Giveth too. I guess I want to give some praise to Kai and James and Matteo also for all of the work with all of the madness that is our GitHub issues everywhere as we all get it figured out. There's a ton of ideas that have been put forth on how to manage our planning and decision making and getting things closed and cleared, and I know that's going to happen soon too. And I'll pass it to Lauren.
Hey everyone. Yeah, a lot of good praise. I like can echo a lot of it, but so stuff additional praise that I have in my mind that I'd like to give to people. I'd like to praise Danny for just like always answering our questions in real life and just like coming over and sitting and hanging out with me all day as we like chat about everything all over the world, including all this Giveth stuff and giving us like so much support and content writing and answering all of our questions. I'd like to give praise also to everyone in the dev call who's like trying to come up with a better flow to the GitHub board, which has been driving me crazy. So I'm like really excited that we're working on doing that. Praise to Tommy for making me laugh continuously with like memes and good puns and jokes. Yeah, and well, praise to everybody. You guys are all wonderful. I'm really glad to be part of this team. And oh yeah, and praise to Forrest for coming up with great ideas to make us feel like connected and so authentically relate and yeah, do something different. And I will pass it to Ashley.
Hi. Okay. I think you guys took all mine. No. I definitely thought it was really cool to see Willie during his talk, like really representing what I feel like is the personality of Giveth, more like as well as explaining how it all worked, like with the unicorn horn and everything. And Mitch, I know, has been working on the docs.giveth.io and putting a lot of stuff in there. So that's really awesome. Praise to the dev team, because I feel like in this whole transition period between soft launch and public launch, there's a whole lot of things to figure out, but I definitely see the progress that we're making and we could do it. I know we can. And Danny, of course, for always just like being there and doing so much work to help us be more aligned with each other and connected and clarifying anything that we have. And yeah, so I'll pass it to Tommy.
Well, shit. Oh, wait, can't say that, huh? I echo everyone's praise. I especially praise Forrest for setting up all these like team building little exercises. I think that we can be more concise on them, but I think that this is an important part of team building. Praise to Danny for bringing us in on this. Praise for Mitch for his patience for going through things like this. I know that sometimes you're like, all right, let's just get to the point. Praise to the dev team for really recognizing everyone's work here in the CR tribe. And definitely praise to Willie and Griff for all the ETH Denver. And praise to Kai for helping me kind of step up and recognizing that I can do things within metagame and give that kind of crossover and learning some new skills. So thank you. And praise to Ashley for listening to my endless in real life hacking sessions that sometimes I just throw at her. And I will pass it to Mitch.
Sure, I'll take it. Yeah, I'd like to give some praise for Lauren for the blog post that she wrote, and also to Calvin and Lauren for getting the video on its way, and as well to the dev team for constantly testing and getting live Giveth 2. And obviously echoing most of the things that everybody has already said. Some things that I noticed that maybe shouldn't be on this meeting, but maybe we should start thinking about is there's been a lot of talk about what we're naming the Giveth dApps. And maybe that's too big of an issue for this call, but at least it was said. And I will pass it to Cam.
Thanks, Mitch. I'll be brief. Definitely praise to the entire team, of course. That team crushed it. Everyone at ETH Denver crushed it. And yeah, I have some ideas I'd like to share, but I'll wait to the very end. But yeah, praise to everyone here. You guys are amazing, and happy Valentine's Day. So that's it. I don't know who's left. I think I was last.
Thank you. Yeah, I think just me, Forrest. I believe the only one who hasn't gone yet. Shout out to the unicorn on Willie's head at ETH Denver. Lots of praise there. That was super cool. Definitely echo like highlighting the brand and the personality of Giveth. I mean, everyone has kind of spoken to it all. I absolutely echo the praise that everyone has said above. I just really feel so grateful to be a part of this team. Everyone is so enthusiastic and driven and brilliant. And I'm just pretty blown away by everyone here. So thank you. And thank you to everyone on this call for your present moment, attention and focus and love on Lovers Valentine's Day. Okay, so moving into...
I also see, I think Magenta's here, and I see another James.
She said she didn't want to talk.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Okay. So just digging in, just want to give a quick little overview for those that maybe weren't on our last community call agenda. In an effort to mirror a bit more of what TEC is doing, we're going to try out this flow where the beginning of the call is updates and praise. Then we have the agenda being built by the actual section owners. So you can either just add your section in yourself on Sunday mornings, or you can ping me on Discord with what you would like the bullets to be for your section, and I'll get it added in for you. So this can be just any team lead or representative from the various teams and circles at Giveth. The purpose of these calls, it's going to be an update-focused agenda where we're showing proposals and other relevant work and just giving updates. It's not intended for decision-making or in-depth discussions, so we can breeze through more quickly. The in-depth discussions and decision-making will be done in team meetings that are ongoing throughout the week, or in like Discord and Aragon votes. We'll be collecting proposals and action steps for the week when necessary, and then we'll have closing thoughts. Any questions on the structure of our community call agendas? Okay, cool beans. And then understanding that this is really just updates and not discussion, please keep that in mind with what I'm about to share. This isn't intended to be a discussion. It's just kind of a bullet point, and then we can discuss later in Discord. So I have heard a number of people voice a desire for more alignment across channels and meetings and teams. We've already gotten aligned with our video conferencing. We're all using everything in Interspace now. Our messaging is more aligned, but something that is not is our agendas and note-taking. A lot of the teams, I think due to just ease, and ease in collaboration and finding where things are, have been using Google Docs. I know we've been doing that in the marketing team. It's been working really great. Here, obviously, in our community calls, we've been doing Notion, but a lot of folks have expressed difficulty with Notion. It's not as easy and user-friendly. There's a lot of features, but it takes just a longer time to use. So my recommendation, and I will make more of a formal proposal for this probably in Discord. I'll message Kai and see what the right process for that is. But my proposal is that we just use Google Drive and streamline everything there, to make things more aligned and simple. And if you have a dissenting or opinion or big feedback on that, we can discuss that in our Discord vote for that proposal. Okay, so moving over here to the Giveth Reputation DAO. Danny, feel free to jump in here if there's anything that you want to share, but just quick updates. The Bloom marketing invoice has been paid. Danny and I synced with Magenta a few days ago, and based on the meetings we've been having with the marketing team, shared with her what our team is working on and what we would love the Bloom Network support with, mostly like distribution and organization and managing Twitter and Medium. And so we kind of scaled back in some ways and up in other ways the V2 proposal that she'd shared. And we kind of came to like a verbal discussion of, I think it was $500, maybe even $450 per month as an ongoing long-term contract to support marketing. So we'll have a formal proposal and voting coming soon so that we can get Magenta and the Bloom Network's next invoice paid on a monthly basis and get to work. But the cool thing is Magenta is going to go ahead now and start managing our Twitter and doing like daily recurrence of posting. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. I'm also going to support Griff in making sure our monthly contract payments to contributors are completed at the beginning of each month. So I'll help to get things organized. And we've got an official vote forthcoming on our naming for like the marketing team clarification and direction. I know we had a vote in Discord, but I've seen a number of different discussions where it's like, is it official? Is it not official? Maybe like people have different ideas. So just some concerns in our copywriting. We want to make sure we're aligned in how we're referencing everything. Is it Giveth Trace and Giveth, Giveth One? So just getting a little bit more clarity on that. Danny, is there anything else that you wanted to mention on this subject?
Well, the only thing I'll say is that Magenta actually confirmed with me she hasn't seen that payment hit her wallet, so I'm checking in with Brian to find out if there's a holdup in getting that done and make sure that happens right away. And yeah, let's have the further conversations around those decisions that need to be made in our governance call tomorrow, and explore the possibility of considering Giveth One, which we didn't for historical reasons, but I'd like to reconsider that. James brought it up, and just it's got some ring, and it's given us some pause as to what we put into this content before we put it out. Yeah, that's all I've got right now.
Okay, beautiful. And then our next section is also pertaining to you on fundraising. I've just got 2 bullets here on if there is an update around the Better Giving Studio from the Gates Foundation. And then just a note that ongoing for our partnership program, we're continuing to update our outreach list and contact partners to invite them for a media collaboration, to donate and match, and add Giveth blurb to their newsletters.
Yeah, I need to get some better images. They said that I can still send them for the page on Better Giving Studio. Their new website isn't going live for another probably 2 weeks. So I've got some time to make sure we have all of our text and copy updated properly to give them some nice screenshot images to list on there. And then Giveth will be up on Better Giving Studio as a better way to give. Regarding the partnership program, Ashley and I are going to hack on the list of all the different people who have shared their information as friends, fans, and followers of Giveth to make sure we get information out to them about the updates to Giveth and how to get involved with us, including how to give. I see you also have me on for that next agenda bullet item, the donation pathways and SDG impact updates. I don't really have any updates to this right now. I'm still hacking on an article that summarizes all of this really clearly. And there's a draft out there, but I'm still working on that this morning. That's all I got.
Amazing. Thank you, Danny. Okay, so for our Give token economy, not a lot of huge major updates unless Willie or Griff would like to speak to something, but obviously partnering with Dapnode, we've got links here. We are almost complete with our first sprint. Tomorrow we're going to do our celebration and review, and then do some pre-planning for our second sprint to begin on Wednesday. So me, Willie, and Griff will hack on that pre-planning on Tuesday. Griff, I actually wasn't aware about what you shared with Gabby earlier, though that is great for the clear communication. But is there any update that you'd like to share here on the community call with the team around the Give token that you've heard from Edu or Gabby?
So if we want to have the big update is if we don't get a smart contract up in the next week, then I would say we take the project curation out of the initial scope for MVP launch. As much as it would be awesome to have, I think we can solve the problems in a simple way without it, and just follow the Dapnode work, because in my opinion, it's more important that we have speed in launching our token than anything else. That's just the reality. I wish it wasn't. I really wish it was oh no, we really actually need to provide a valuable economy and a use case. No, that's just not true, sadly. You can look at Hermes, or you look at any of these other token economies that have launched already, and they have nothing, and that seems acceptable to most things, like just a promise and reputation, which we can have. However, I am still scrambling this week to find a smart contract dev that has has executed before on projects and can achieve our relatively simple project curation requirements. I'm talking to Will J. Griff, another Griff. It's always good. The Griffs are always badasses, so that's always a good sign. Talking to Will J. Griff from One Hive and reached out to a couple others, but if anyone else has any leads on smart contract devs, I just want to put like a 1 week requirement. Otherwise, we just move on and launch. So that's the main update from my side. And Edu said he was delayed on the vesting and liquidity mining stuff, but it should get up this week for sure. Willie, did you have anything?
No, I think you covered it. I do have some questions around what it would look like if we took the MVP route. Like, assuming that if we aren't able to find a smart contract dev and we launch the MVP version, it sounds like you have an idea for how we could still enable projects or donors to get rewarded with give tokens when they donate to a project. Do you have an idea for how we could still enable that in an MVP?
Retroactively. We just say, listen, you donate, we're going to give you rewards, but exactly how that works out, we'll see. Sorry, guys, but donate and you will be earning give tokens. It's just going to take some time to implement. If you want to help us build the future of giving, help us implement it. Yeah.
Cool. I totally agree that time is of the essence right now, and there's a lot of examples of projects that have a lot less than we do have, and that didn't hold them back from launching. And there's still the community is still getting excited as long as they have a good narrative and a good reputation, which we do have. So hopefully we can find a great smart contract developer this week. But if not, I second that we might have to move forward with an MVP route, and that could be fine. But I do think, I'm glad to hear that. As long as we can have a path to really reward users with donations, I do think that's important to have at MVP. So glad that we have some ideas for how we could do that in an MVP fashion. Nothing else to add, really.
Okay.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but these days we can just upgrade, right? Down the line.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it wouldn't be an upgrade. It would just be an addition.
It would be, MVP. Yeah, I get it. Thanks.
Sorry, Forrest. I think it's all you now.
All good. Yeah, thanks, Willie and Griff, for the updates. Okay, so moving down to DApp updates, issues, and requests. Giveth Trace, do we have any major things to share from the past week?
One thing. Well, go ahead. I mean, you start.
No. Please go.
Okay, I just wanted to add that there's a lot of discussion about when do we move from beta to trace.giveth.io, and I put out some just 2 requirements that I feel are necessary. Number 1, no major issues for 2 sprints, like especially around donating or receiving or claiming funds, just because those are issues. And if we're on beta, they're okay. If we say they're not beta, then so let's have some proof of concept. Let's have a month where there's no big issues, and we can, if we want, we can do the countdown. Like, hey, there has been no deaths on the highway since for 4 days. Okay, cool. That's all cool by me. But I would like that as a requirement. Also, the big milestone, the big one feature that we want to add is making a milestone on Giveth Trace is just too hard. And we have the UX design, and we have a new front end developer. So once we have that updated and we have 2 sprints of no issues, no critical issues around claiming funds or donating, then I would say we can get rid of that beta tag. So, I mean, do you have anything to add?
No, actually, I'm a little concerned about the bridges. And bridge monitor, they have issues these days. I don't know why. Maybe their database become bigger, or I don't know. I should investigate. So yeah, and we have not onboarded yet new front-end devs, and onboarding and is one thing and make them useful. Another thing, because Muhammad is great right now, but if we onboard new devs, because our application is not well like other commercial applications that they have worked, they're running maybe some time consuming. I try my best. Yeah, and I'm not sure we can make it give us trace not beta, make it release in 1 month. Maybe we need more time, but I'm working hard. Me and Muhammad, we are working hard and fixing issues. I am updating immense change in the front end, and we are updating our role permissions functionality. We don't use our configuration files to update user roles anymore. We are changing the email infrastructure, and yeah, these are changes that we are going for right now, and we have steps to make it a stable, not beta application. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, beautiful. Thanks, Griffin. I mean, all right. So Giveth, our new application. We're in quiet soft launch. The user testing is in progress. I'm curious, have we been transferring and onboarding projects and receiving feed forward since we soft launched?
I can just say that I see some. I'm pretty sure that there's a common stake campaign on beta as well. So for sure, Griff made one that's there. I don't know, and so maybe somebody else wants to speak about this, because I'm just saying what I think and not what I know. So that's the only thing. I would say we are still in heavy testing period. We just identified a serious bug prior to the dev call. Like Marco found it yesterday that like we don't actually trace donations very well on a platform. They work, but they are not reflected in UI. And as long as we have those, like we really want to stay very quiet. My hope was actually to be as quick with what we call the Giveth tab now, so we don't we have like these options to like relieve beta of our tray. So see, now it's getting really confusing, of the burden of being the front facing application. It would be great to have like this little or more simple application front facing, and then pipe people over to the more feature heavy one. And I guess that's still the plan. Otherwise, the soft launch did go okay, but many bugs were found, were immediately fixed. Not immediately, but as before anybody noticed. We should still be quiet about stuff. I would like to have Giveth.io not being tweeted around too much these days because of those bugs. Yeah, I hope that in the next there's this little thing we have to fix, and then it's at least okay for everyone to go there, and we don't have to be embarrassed about anything. And because I see there no update on the fiat integration as far as I know.
Yeah, I think right now we need to be focused on just getting some projects listed and be clear with those projects that we're in the soft launch mode. We're aware of some of these small bugs and focused on fixing those so that once we so that soon in the future we can start inviting people to actually come do donations. I know there's still some confusion about kind of what stage are we at right now and should we be marketing. I think the only way we should be marketing is kind of directly to projects that we think would be a good fit, and just being clear with them that there are some known issues that we're focused on stomping out right now. So they shouldn't expect any donations or stuff to come through yet. Right now we're just in the process of getting some solid projects listed and making sure there aren't any major bugs. And with the fiat integration, yeah, we're mostly right now. There's a good list of bugs and improvements that we need to focus on before we dive into new features. For those of you that did create a project, or that anyone that did maybe help onboard a project and stuff, is there any feedback on how that went? How that process
I added a couple of projects from our pilot projects list that I'm the person to contact for, and I did run into, I think, one little bug that I made an issue for, and I was working with Mateo on. It was just about images. It wasn't anything major. But so far, we haven't reached out to anybody outside on the marketing side because we've just kind of been waiting until it's a little more stable, and then people could come and start adding them.
That's great. Yeah, I thought like creating a project was really cool, simple, and worked well. Like I said before, we are not tracking donations. Donations work. They are all also going through. So funds are safe always. So that's very important to know. People, if you have a project that is eager and wants to be onboarded, I think it's a good way to say, hey, yeah, sure, you can go there. It's best to even help them because you want a good picture, you want a good text, and also that might take some thinking and trying around. But they should not expect to have crazy donations inflow. But even if they get something donated, it will totally go to the address they specified.
Awesome,
Evidence
guys.
is the blockchain explorer. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Cool. Are there any other updates on Giveth, the process we've been in for soft launch?
I mean, just to echo that, making a project was super easy. I had no bugs, and it was fantastic. So, congrats, well done.
That's what we want to hear from you, Griff. Nice.
I wish I had like a mixer where on the call I could just play like audience clapping or something.
We can make that happen, but I'm happy that you don't. It's not everybody. I'm cool with it though. James wanted to say something.
No, I was trying to clap. Actually, I realized I'm raising my hand instead.
Nice. We'll take it as a clap. Okay, and sounds like we probably just need some more time to like continue identifying bugs and fixing these major ones. But is there any discussion of when we feel we might anticipate being ready for a more official public launch, or do we not feel comfortable to even guesstimate that sort of date at this point?
I would say, I mean, to be clear, like the issue we have right now is an edge case. Like there is use cases where it's actually working. And I mean, once we have this resolved, as far as we know, that's the only kind of, serious issue, right? So I would expect that like it could be another 2 or 3 days. A brief update I would bring in from the dev meeting is that we'll be doing new features in 2-week cycles and live hot fixes and urgent issues ASAP. So yeah, we'll keep you posted in the dev channel, but I expect if not tomorrow, then the day after, we should be able to resolve this issue. And I personally would be happy at that point. I don't know, you guys. To blast it out.
I also want to add that the mainnet is so expensive that even when we are live, it might be a bit overwhelming in terms of like how many people come there and donate.
Are you, great point about the gas issue. James, are you saying that you think we could be ready in about 3 days for the big official launch?
Yeah.
Do we want to, I know we had talked about issues like the identity verification and stuff, not just like bugs, but also some features being potentially blockers for the big official launch.
I would just say that like it's awesome that dev is a go in 3 days, but I think there's marketing and projects, getting more projects on board, and probably a few other criteria that we might want to just outline as it's a go, requirements.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to add one last point that there is no whitelist or blacklist on this whole thing, so anybody can go. So I think that is very brave of us to even have it open.
Is that difficult to build after the fact if there's a problem though?
No, I mean it's to delist is kind of already on the dev environment, so it's in the pipeline, I would say. We could very quickly just go into the database and remove something in a few minutes.
Cool.
So if I understood, sorry.
Go ahead, Mitch.
Okay. So if I understood, you want to do the real launch in 3 days, and I'm thinking there's still. Go ahead, James.
I just want to clarify, what I said may be misleading. I wasn't talking about let's do a massive launch and blast it out. What I mean is that this outstanding issue I hope to have resolved within at least 2 days, and at that point there's really no reason not to tell people about it. In terms of really putting the foot down and really doing a big launch, as Griff outlined and as would make sense. We probably should have a bigger plan around this and more projects on board, right? So
yeah,
maybe that's something we should plan to schedule.
I think you're still missing a lot of the features that we were talking about, like ERC20 tokens, fiat donations, give token functionality to really, because right now it only takes projects that can only be donated in ETH, and that's it.
So it's your opinion that that's not enough to launch it with?
I mean, a lot of the talking points that we were getting people excited about don't actually work now.
Yeah, I gotta say, it sounds like we need a medium launch in between soft and hard launch. Soft launch to make sure it works, medium launch to make sure we have our language and marketing alignment correct, and a hard launch when I personally think it would be great if we could have that fiat on there before the big full public launch. I just think it's like our key feature that we've been working towards, and it feels like we're coming short without having that for the big announcement.
Yeah, scope creep is crazy here, right? There's so many good features, so we really just need to nail down what those features are, and hold that line. Don't let the scope creep slow us down, please.
Am I wrong though? Isn't fiat part of the MVP?
No, you're right.
We need some clarity around like terminology and what is included in things, and alignment around what does it mean for the big launch, right? From the marketing team perspective, what's in the pipeline, what features are promised inside of that content. And I guess that's something we're not going to resolve here on this call, right? I'm happy to align with you guys this week and figure that out. Most likely we just have a question of terminology here, right? What is going to happen when we are MVP ready? What's going to happen when we're feature complete for a big launch? And in this way, we just need to do some alignment, I think, in terms of understanding of each other and all of this.
And have the features written down so that they can be executed on, and holding that line. I know one feature that I want to add to scope creep is XDAI on ramp and off ramp. So like if we're going to do fiat, then I hope that we can also allow that to go on to XDAI to reduce gas costs for everyone. And if we have fiat on ramp, then we need fiat off ramp as well. Would be very useful. But off ramp doesn't need to be there as long as there's proof of for the MVP. But as long as there's proof of concept for off ramp from XDAI. I'm not talking about an XDAI bridge as much as I'm saying, hey, if people have XDAI tokens or XDAI themselves, they can just donate on XDAI and it goes to the same address that the donor has. And they, with Taurus, they can use XDAI. With the MetaMask, they can use XDAI. And then they don't have to pay a fee. And if we give them an off-ramp, then that's a sweet deal. Because like even donating on Gitcoin is fucking expensive. It's ridiculous. Even if you use Matic, you have to do the bridge. Fuck the bridge. You don't need the bridge. If you got XDAI, donate on XDAI. If you don't, donate on it. You know, it's fine.
And free off-ramp.
The biggest crippler is gas, because even Marco was saying he made a donation and it cost him $5 to donate $5.
Yeah, I might imagine your project trying to off-ramp your cash also, right? I mean,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, and there are exchanges that take XDAI. There are, but I don't know how easy it is to get an account that goes to your bank. And then there's off-ramp, right, or on-ramp, which I don't know. I didn't hear if there was research on an XDAI off-ramp that works, but as long as the research proves that it's possible, then I hope that we can add that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have XDAI. I just want to throw that out there. Like all of us in this call have XDAI, so it's not unheard of.
Yeah, I think it would be really helpful to have clarification around this, especially from the marketing perspective, because when we're creating content, we're creating it in a way of what we can promise to people once that piece is published. And so to have like a final list of what will be included in the launch so that we can write our pieces to that, and then we just, however long it takes to get those features integrated, and then that's when we launch or something. I don't know, but I feel like from trying to create the content and like some of these blog posts and stuff, that it's all really based on what the application will be able to do at time of launch, and there's so much like murkiness around that.
Okay, well, let's get rid of the murkiness this week. I mean, to be clear, like what we want is an app that like we can confidently invite people to create their projects on and receive donations, and there won't be any issues, right? So we're still like we're in the final 0.5% of executing on our soft launch right now. Like that's pretty much first milestone, right? And then like it could be another week or longer, I don't know, until we do the big launch. Or most likely be more than that, and we can get whatever features need to be into that in there, essentially. But let's definitely have a chat about that tomorrow. I'm available for anyone who wants to talk about that.
There's the marketing check-in on Tuesday. Maybe we can set aside some time there.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. Well, let's talk about it then.
Sounds great. And then, yeah, I think we have some of these small questions that will be answered when we go through our marketing agenda. Are there any ops updates, Kai?
Many. We have a new development environment and fixed like a few things there. So it's streamlined for Giveth IO. Streamlined. I'm working on the bridge with DevNode. Like sadly, they also have a small team, and there was a hiccup with ETH Denver, so that actually pushed. Like I just pinged the person responsible just before or during this call. So I hope to get that ASAP. Otherwise, yeah, things are running.
Awesome. Thank you. So I'm just going to blow through a couple of quick marketing updates. There's some links at the top here. So all of our meeting notes are super detailed and have been compiled in the Giveth Google Drive. We've got a marketing folder in there now that everyone has access to. There's a hyperlink here. The second bullet you see is called Questions for Copywriters Living Document. This is kind of where the content writers have been compiling questions that are arising as they're writing our blog posts and more detailed content. And I think pinging this document to like the devs or to different people to get those questions answered. And ideally, the problem was that every person that was being asked on the team was giving a different answer from one another. There's just a lot of different perspectives. And so the ideal is that this is our living document for the latest and greatest official answer to these questions. And this is the FAQ basically that our writers are going to be looking to and using when curating content. So this is a great reference document for the devs that might clarify some things, and let's make sure we're aligning on our responses. This third bullet point, our marketing content calendar. So in a lot of ways, this mirrors what you would see in the fourth bullet point, which is our Giveth planning board filtered by the Giveth to launch marketing campaigns epic. But we've put it into like a Google spreadsheet format where you can see all of the different topics that we're writing on across different channels. So Twitter and Medium and Reddit discussions and all kind YouTube videos, all kinds of things. And it's just a nice way for us to organize by publication date our upcoming posts and see, you know, what the frequency is on different channels and the topics that we're promoting pre-launch, at launch, and post-launch. Just to give some quick updates, we are well in progress on creating a hype video. Shout out especially to Lauren and Calvin, which is promoting functionality and user experience of the new application. And then this video is going to be on our channel. It'll be embedded at the top of blog posts and circulated around Twitter. And we'll also share this with partners and projects to help them with ease of use, and also requesting them to share and retweet. We've been consolidating and building our target outreach lists. We're in progress on a number of great strategic, more in-depth content pieces. Thanks so much to our Costa Rica team, doing a lot of great job on that content writing. And so we're queuing up our content, and we'll have it stored in Google Drive so that Magenta from the Bloom Network can, who's managing our Medium channel, she'll publish them at our strategically determined times across platforms and promote on Twitter and all that jazz. Next steps, we've got we're currently meeting twice weekly because of the launch. Tuesdays and Fridays, morning time, Central Time. Ultimately, we'll shift to once weekly meetings and maybe even like less in the later on down the road. Magenta's joining us on Tuesdays. Next step also for the team to fill in the content calendar regularly with the status of your owned content. And then I'm making the updates to the GitHub issues on Tuesdays and Fridays in our meetings. And of course, there's comments in the threads as we have updates. And also next step, this Tuesday, we have our next check-in, and we'll be reviewing the GitHub planning board. Link to the pilot projects here on the bottom. And we did it, you guys. It's 12. I want to leave some time for questions on what I just shared around marketing. And if anyone has just popcorn closing thoughts, now's a good time before we drop. Crickets.
I was busy there, like following
Potatoes.
Tommy. I just wrote to Young Kid Warrior if he might be able to help us with our token. He's a great Giveth man, it seems. So let's see. And
Yeah.
thank you, Forrest, for another great meeting moderated. I love how you do this.
My pleasure.
On the marketing side, what's the status of getting the Twitter going?
Magenta's going to start doing daily recurring daily posts starting now. But she was also listening in on this call, and she's on her to-do list is to review our community call agendas. And I highlighted bold in red when the dev team was saying, don't talk about the launch because we've got these bugs right now. So she's not going to be posting about the launch until we give her the green light. She's going to be posting about projects and partners and, other Giveth things.
Yeah, we can tease that something's happening.
Right.
Magenta, thank you so much. If you're hearing this, thank you so much for jumping in on that. You did such a great job in the last couple months. Really appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Love you all.
Yeah, and Magenta, I've been tweeting for the last couple of days because I wanted to jump on the ETH Denver thing and trying to do cross posts and comments from my own account too, so we can make sure we're having greater impact with those tweets by all of us getting out there. So when the tweets go out, let's put it into the Discord and ask people to share, respond, comment, all that good stuff.
Great idea, Danny. And thanks for managing that the past few days and circulating around ETH Denver. That was big. So good call. Any other closing thoughts, questions, updates?
I would just add, I kind of had the realization, well, first of all, sorry to the marketing team, around the confusion around what functionality will be ready when. We are in the process of sorting out our GitHub, and I believe that this will help us to communicate more effectively. At the end of the day, all functionality should have a milestone on it, and there should be a date on that milestone, and it should be accurate. So yeah, first of all, sorry for the situation, and we're working to improve this. So let's talk about it this week.
Cool. Forrest, you and I are going to stay on this call afterwards and help you make sure you've got your wallet and all that good stuff set up.
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, without further ado, thank you all so much for joining today. Lovely seeing your beautiful faces, and the others, lovely seeing your amazing name initials. And I hope you have a very happy Sunday wherever you are in the world. Ciao.
Hey.
Everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Ashley, come on down here too. We got some things we can hack on today.